What we as Westerners know and understand, and what we have been brought up with, brainwashed with, and understand as Christianity, borrows heavily from Egypt. The Egyptians gave us the basic concept, or rather, Christianity co-opted from the Egyptians the basic concepts of what we call today or know as Christianity, the very idea of a Messiah, which is very big in Judaism, which is the one thing that represents Judaism to the world, the idea that it teaches there will be a Messiah who will come in the clouds, who will come to save the world. A Messiah. Jesus is referred to as a Messiah. But the Messiah is a concept which comes out of Egypt. If you go back to the encyclopedia and the big dictionary, the big reference books on Christianity and religion, it will tell you the idea of a Messiah is an Egyptian idea, but Egypt got it from India. It's a Hindu story and origins. All religion, all spirituality has as its nexus points, as point of origins from Mother India, the spiritual fountainhead of our entire world's cultures. So the Messiah, this Egyptian idea that was co-opted by the Judaism and then is now serves as the basis of Christianity, and in essence, the totality of most people's ideas about spirituality, religion. But they all got this from India. It's a Hindu story. It goes back to Hindus in India. And since all three religions, both Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, all three claim to have the same beginnings, all three major religions will tell you they are Abrahamic religions. Abraham was the great God, was the great father of all three of these religions. That's why they're called Abrahamic religions. And God's directed Abraham to found the three great religions of this world: Christianity, Judaism, Islam. Well, it is a fact. We factually know today that there was no Abraham. Abraham never existed. It's just a story. That's why the Bible is called the greatest story ever told. It's not the greatest collection of historical facts ever assembled, the greatest story ever told. It's just a story. It's a symbolic metaphor telling you something. But if you're arrogant and self-centered, egotistical, as it seems to be the case with most Westerners in their Christianity, then you think you know the whole truth. Then you don't understand the story. It's only if you understand spiritual terms and have spiritual eyes to see what is actually being said. In India, the brahmanas are known as the great priesthood of the Almighty God. If you put an A in front of Brahman, it becomes Abraham. So if you go back to Genesis, you will find that Abraham was not born Abraham. His name was Abram, A-B-R-A-M, not A-B-R-A-H-A-M, Abram. And God decided to change his name to Abraham. Abraham's original name was Abram, A-B-R-A-M, Abram. It goes back to the Ram, the god of Egypt. The Ram, R-A-M, represents the Aries, the Ram, the age of Aries. The ram and the sun was in the age of Aries, the ram, R-A-M. And according to the history of the Brahmana religion, the Brahmanas had a goddess called Saraswati, and she represented the flow of life. And so there was a river in India called the Saraswati River, and it was a holy and sacred river, like the River Jordan, the Jordan River in Israel, very holy, similar even into the Mississippi River in the United States. Very holy. All the big countries and all the great religions have a great river. And the river represents the water that flows with life. So that's what happens when you were born. Your mother's water broke. So when you take Brahmin and put an A in front of it, because Abraham, you have Abraham and Sarah. Brahman and Saraswati comes from India. And the Egyptians picked up the religion of Abraham and Saraswati, and they have Osiris, Isis, Horus. Horus was the name of the sun when it first comes up in the morning. All of this has its origins from the early times of religions in India and the movements of the planetary bodies. The sun featured heavily in the origins and the beginnings of all of the world's mythology. There's 12 steps at the sky. There's a reason why 12 is a very prominent number. 12 numbers on the clock. The sun moves, Horus moves from the mornings when it first appears, 12 steps. Alcoholics have a 12-step program. But listen, I'm here to tell you that Christians, please, this is the greatest detriment, the greatest obstacle to the law of one unity consciousness in this world is Christian arrogance. And I'm here to tell you that Christianity is a Bible-oriented and Jesus-intoxicated religion. All right? The Holy Bible has two parts. First, the Old Testament, the Torah, essentially. The New Testament, essentially, the Old Testament tells the history of God's interventions in the lives of the Jews, the chosen people. And the New Testament is about the birth, life, teachings, death, and resurrections of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, as well as the life and growth of the early church he founded. So, please, I'm simply here to spread the message that there is a unity among all the peoples of the world, and religion, in particular the Christian religion, which basically is a wholesale co-opting of what the Egyptians brought to us, which is all based on the Hindu system, the Brahmanas. And Abraham, who founded the three main religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, is basically the word Brahman, which is the priestly caste in India, which is the concept of their god, and they put an A in front of it, and that's where you have this this diaspora, if you will, of the world's great religions that all flow back to the great river Ganges in India.
Namaste, namaskaram.